welcome to Kappa's Careers in the Arts series, where we explore the many career opportunities the fine and performing arts have to offer. I'm your host, Amy Handra, and today we're exploring the career of photographer. Photography is the art or process of creating images. And in the performing arts, those images that the photographer creates are varied and might include images of theater, dance, stand-up comedy, live music, or even fire breathing. Photographers are tasked with capturing the energy, movement, and charisma of performers while they're literally in the act of performing, which is no easy feat. The images that photographers capture can be used for a variety of purposes, including advertising and marketing, archiving the production, or for use on a website or social media platform. And today, we are delighted to be talking to photographer Evan Zimmerman.
I live in New York City, where I am a theatrical photographer. So what that means is I come into a performance right before they're about to open and take photos of the show. So my job as a production photographer is to take the photos that share the world of the show with everybody. And those photos are used for documentation purposes, to remember the show, to remember the sets, to remember the costumes, but also for advertising. So a lot of the photos I take will be used here in Columbus, in Arkansas, all over the country to produce a world to market the show. It's kind of like your little taste of a show before you get to buy the ticket. I grew up in Marysville, Ohio. My parents were educators who loved theater. My older brother, who is 7 years older than I am, grew up doing so many productions. So I grew up in the theater, watching him, clapping along, and being so excited to be involved in the theater with him. And we had such an amazing theater community, between shows in our high schools, our middle schools, even our elementary schools, to community productions, to choir concerts, to show choir. I was surrounded constantly by the most amazing talent and the most welcoming community. I majored in musical theater in college. I was a theater kid, true and true, belting it out, doing all the stage shows. But I also had a love for photography. My sophomore year of college, I actually bought my first pre-professional camera and started taking everybody's headshots. All of my friends, all of my classmates, where I would just go to the park and take their headshots. And it was such good practice. And that kind of just snowballed. You know, I worked in the theater, our theater office at Otterbein University, where I went to get my undergraduate. And I was just given so many opportunities there to pick up my camera and take photos of the productions, take photos and make posters for the productions. Never really thinking that this is what I would be doing with my life, but it was just fun. And I loved theater and I loved photography, and I was like, wow, look, they can meld together. So the most important element of being a theatrical photographer is to capture the essence of any performance. Shows are so different. A musical is very different than a play. A comedy is very different than, Shakespeare's Richard III. So you want to be able to capture the vibe, the tone, and the style of any show you photograph. You're going to shoot a musical different than you would shoot a play. So you have to keep that true spirit of the show in any show that you photograph and make sure that is what you present to the audience. My entire life growing up here in Central Ohio, I wanted to work on Broadway. And being able to say that I did it and I work there is such an amazing thing. So every day I wake up just feeling so grateful for this job that I have and this community that is the Broadway theater community, and just, to be a part of it. But besides that part, I love traveling, and this job takes you a lot of places. It took me to Australia, it's taking me all over this country, and I get to see so many amazing talent and so many different people around the country, and I'm glad I get to share photography with all of them. My advice is practice, practice, practice. You're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes every single day. What you have to do is just grow from them. Take a bunch of photos, see what is not quite right about them, and then figure out why you have that feeling about it. What can you adjust to make it better the next time? The more you do it, the more you can hone in on your details of your photographs and being able to talk about them, the better you will be as an artist. You don't necessarily have to go to college to become a theatrical production photographer. All you have to know is how to take a photo and trust your instincts. I went to school for my BFA in musical theater in college. For me, it was an important learning opportunity because I learned so much about the skills and the world of the theater that I'm able to apply that knowledge to this specific career. I want to share with you some equipment I use when I take all of my theatrical production photos. These are my two Canon cameras, and I have two different lenses on these cameras. The effects they give when I take a photo are different. This lens right here is called a telephoto lens, and it zooms in really far. This photo example I'm showing you right now is a photo from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child that I took in Melbourne, Australia at the end of 2019. As you can see, it is a nice, clean, square image that is zoomed in pretty far on the subjects here. I was standing about halfway back in the theater taking this photo, but because this lens can zoom in so far, it looks like I was right on stage with the actors, which is a great thing to have in any show. This lens can go so close to get a nice portrait of a person, but also be used way far back to get a full representation of the stage. It's a great lens and can give you such variety in your photos. This other lens I use a lot is my wide-angle lens. It does exactly what it sounds like it does. It is a wide lens that gives you a wide view of any set. This photo I'm showing you currently is taken from Broadway's Anastasia. As you can see here, you get much more of a view of the entire stage. You see an actor at the down right side, and also all the lights all the way to the very back of the stage. With this lens, I was able to completely open up and bring in the entire ensemble, the entire atmosphere of the stage, and capture that in an image. When I shoot a show, I use both of these cameras and both of these lenses because it gives me such a wide variety of photographs to take. I'm able to, at a moment's notice, drop one camera, pick the other one up, and zoom in, and then just the opposite. If I'm really close to a person, but a dance number begins, I can drop the zoom lens, pick up my wide-angle lens, and capture the shot. It's a little crazy when you're running around a theater doing that, because I typically have them on a harness, and I'm whipping the cameras back and forth, but it's a lot of fun. I equate theatrical photography to sports photography, because it is fast-moving, there's a beginning, there's an end, and if you miss the moment, you miss the moment. So for me, being able to have two different cameras with two different lenses that give me such a wide variety is invaluable as a theatrical photographer.
So, as you learned today, a career as a performing arts photographer is exciting, rewarding, and challenging. For today's extension activity, conduct a search to find performance photographs. These can be of your favorite musical artists, comedian, stage or film performers, musicals or plays, or even circus acts. Then select your favorite photograph. If it's available, write down the name of the photographer or company that captured the image. Finally, explain why this photograph is your favorite and why you feel it does a good job capturing the energy of the performer or performance. To learn more about today's career, visit CAPA.com for additional resources. And be sure to tune in next time when we explore another career in the arts.